Asterisk, it started off like any other high-profile morning interview on The View. The show's theme music played, the audience clapped enthusiastically, and the co-hosts exchanged their usual mix of banter and commentary. But there was a different kind of energy in the studio that morning, subtle, electric, and expectant. Denzel Washington, one of Hollywood's most respected actors and directors, was about to take the stage. Known for his intense performances and thoughtful interviews, Denzel was promoting his latest project, The Architect, a political thriller diving deep into government corruption, media complicity, and moral erosion. Asterisk, he entered to thunderous applause, smiling humbly, nodding politely to the hosts as he took his seat. Whoopi Goldberg welcomed him warmly, as did Sunny Hostin and Alyssa Farah Griffin. From the moment she opened her mouth, it was clear she wasn't interested in small talk. Isn't that a bit ironic, considering you're here promoting it on a media platform? Asterisk, there was an audible shift in the room. The live audience, sensing tension, grew quiet. Denzel raised an eyebrow but responded with grace. Joy, the irony is the point. I'm here to start conversations. That's what art should do: expose, confront, provoke thought. Sure, but don't you think portraying the press as corrupt and agenda-driven is a dangerous message? Especially right now, with so much mistrust already in the system. Asterisk, Denzel sat back in his chair, his calm demeanor still intact, but a fire had ignited behind his eyes. Dangerous, he repeated slowly. What's dangerous is when we stop asking hard questions because we're afraid of the answers. I didn't create this narrative. The public isn't blind. They see through spin. Asterisk, Joy's smirk returned, a clear indication that she was ready to escalate. That's easy for you to say as a millionaire actor. But for everyday people, teachers, nurses, voters, this kind of message breeds fear, not awareness. They don't need conspiracy. They need hope. Asterisk, Denzel's expression stiffened. He leaned forward, resting his elbows on the table. Respectfully, Joy, don't reduce my work to conspiracy. The Architect is based on real events, real people, real consequences. If the truth makes people uncomfortable, maybe that's what they need. Hope without truth is just denial. Sunny glanced toward Whoopi, who looked ready to intervene, but waited. Joy's eyes narrowed. Asterisk, so you're saying it's your responsibility to shake people out of their comfort zones with fiction? Asterisk, Denzel didn't hesitate. I'm saying it's my responsibility to reflect reality. If that reality is ugly, art isn't meant to pacify. It's meant to challenge. And by the way, I'm not the only one saying this. Journalists, whistleblowers, veterans, they've lived this. I'm just giving it a voice. Denzel's shoulders squared. He didn't raise his voice, but the gravity in his tone weighed heavy. Asterisk, Joy, I didn't come here to play the part of a political sage, he said. I came here because I believe in the power of story. You want to dismiss it as acting? Fine. But don't assume for a second that because I'm an actor, I don't understand what's at stake in this country. I've been in neighborhoods forgotten by the very institutions you're defending. Asterisk, Joy tried to cut in. Don't twist my asterisk, I'm not twisting anything, he interrupted, his voice now visibly taut. What I'm saying is simple. We've reached a point where telling the truth is seen as provocation. That's not on me. That's on the system. Asterisk, the studio fell silent again. Whoopi stepped in. Let's take a moment here. We've got a lot to unpack, and asterisk, but Denzel was already standing. He removed his microphone, adjusted his jacket, and looked at the hosts. Asterisk, I didn't come here to argue, he said calmly. I came here to talk about something that matters. If that's not welcome here, I'll take the message elsewhere. Asterisk, without waiting for a response, he turned and walked off the stage as the audience gasped, unsure whether to clap or stay quiet. Producers scrambled behind the scenes as The View cut abruptly to a commercial break. Asterisk, the fallout from Denzel Washington's sudden walk-off from The View was nothing short of seismic. Within minutes, the internet lit up with clips of the incident. TikTok, Twitter, now X, and Instagram Reels exploded with hashtags like hashtag Denzel walks off, hashtag Joy vs Denzel, and hashtag Truth, DOESN. Single quotes to flinch. News outlets scrambled to get statements from both sides, and fans and critics alike dove into heated debates about who was right. Asterisk. A panel of media experts and cultural commentators to dissect the moment. One commentator, a media ethics professor from another said Denzel didn't lose his temper. He claimed his truth and walked away from a setup. Asterisk, meanwhile, Joy Behar kept a low profile after the show. though she returned to tape the next day's episode. Sources said she was visibly shaken backstage, Joy reportedly told a producer according to a leaked ABC memo. "I ask questions. That's my job. If he can't take pushback, maybe he shouldn't be doing press." Asterisk, but for many, it wasn't about pushback, it was about tone and timing. Reality and art had struck a chord in a climate where spin often trumps sincerity. Asterisk celebrities began weighing in. Ava DuVernay reposted the clip with the caption, "He didn't flinch." And that's rare. It just walks off stage and lets the noise speak for itself. Even political figures joined the conversation. Senator Nina Morales tweeted, "We need more Denzels in this country. People who refuse to be boxed in by polite censorship." Conservative commentator Ben Maddox wrote, "So now it's considered brave to storm off a set when you're challenged." Please, asterisk. But despite the divide, one fact was indisputable. Denzel had reignited a national debate about the role of artists in public discourse. Asterisk, the next day, The View opened with a carefully scripted statement from Whoopi Goldberg. "As you all saw yesterday, things got a little heated on this show," she said calmly. "We respect Denzel Washington, and we appreciate passionate voices even when they challenge us." Asterisk's Joy, however, remained silent during the opening segment, letting her co-hosts do the talking. She later offered a short explanation during a Q&A portion of the show, saying, "I stand by my questions. I asked what I felt needed to be asked. He had every right to walk away. And that's that." But that wasn't that. Denzel broke his silence later that evening during an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, which had been scheduled weeks earlier. There was a noticeable tension in the crowd when Colbert brought up the View incident. But Denzel remained calm, collected and precise in his response. Asterisk, "I wasn't angry." He said simply, "I was disappointed. There's a difference. I don't have a problem being challenged, but when the tone assumes bad faith from the start, you have to ask yourself, is this really a conversation or is it a trap?" Asterisk, Colbert nodded. "Some would say walking off is the most powerful thing you could have done." Asterisk, Denzel smiled faintly. "I didn't walk off to make a statement. I walked off because I refused to shrink for the comfort of a format." Asterisk, that line became an instant quote. Within hours, it was being printed on t-shirts and tweeted by influencers, artists, and even teachers who saw it as a mantra for living authentically. Asterisk. 2 days later, The Architect soared to the top of streaming charts. Interest in the film had surged due to the controversy, and those who watched it quickly realized that Denzel hadn't exaggerated its message. The story was raw, thought-provoking, and deeply uncomfortable as he had promised. Asterisk, in a follow-up interview with Variety, Denzel offered final thoughts on the clash. "We're in a moment where people are desperate for clarity, not comfort, not slogans, clarity. If I lost my cool a little, so be it. I'd rather be real and flawed than perfectly fake." Asterisk, and just like that, what started as a tense television moment became something larger, a cultural flashpoint.